Hey guys, I'm just gonna give you the heads up on what I've done. I got the TM1000 installed on my Eachine Racer, and everything went well. I've got it mounted right up here, and I've got it hooked in. Now I've got the data side going to the PPM receiver on the lower bind side. Now I think all it's given me really out of this is, I think it's power in this, and it's giving me my receiver voltage, which would be important, I guess, if I was in a gas machine with a receiver battery, but it's not so important to me. But anyways, I've got my temperature sensor taped under here, so when I slide the battery in, it gives me my battery temperature. Then I've got my pack voltage. Now I couldn't find a 12 volt pin anywhere on this. I could at the ECMs or the ESCs, but I didn't know if I wanted to tie into that or not. So I ended up getting the voltage right back here beside this plug. There's two pads. I scraped it off with a knife, and that's my battery voltage. That's negative, that's positive. And I tinned the wire and soldered them on, and it's perfect. So now I can turn my radio on there, put my battery, slide it in. I'm just not going to tie it in, and go like that. Now, so now here, what it does is it gives me the volts and the temperature, and I also have it giving me the my timer. So it talks to me on my flight time, which is a bonus because I do a lot of line of sight flying. And when I do fly with the goggles on, well, that's a bonus because I get it on my screen and I get it off the radio, and the radio talking to me. So it's the best of both worlds. You can't go wrong there. So one thing I did notice is my battery voltage here on this is 12.1 right now, but when I look at my voltage on my screen, it's after it's plugged in for any length of time, it goes up to 0.3 of a volt, sometimes 0.4 of a volt higher. Now I can't figure out why it's higher, because if it's picking the voltage up here, there should be a voltage drop here, not higher voltage. I can't figure out what's going on with the voltage issue and why it starts at a 0.1, and the longer you got it on, it'll go up to as high as 0.3 or 0.4. But anyways, I checked this one. Now when this says 12.1, the battery is 12.1, so this is the one I'm going to go by. I won't go by the one that's in the screen when I've got the goggles on. But other than that, I love it. I've flown it just out back. What I did find, when I did first hooked it up, like I said, I had a hard time with, I had this switch backwards, and I had it in acro mode, and I started up next close to the shrubs out there, and I got into them because I wasn't expecting it. But anyways, what I did find out is I ended up setting my radio to 10% of expo. Now 10% makes it nice in stabilization mode. It makes it just float like a cloud. It's sweet. It's nice. And when you do go to acro mode, it doesn't make it so twitchy, so I can actually hover it very nicely in acro mode. Before, with the expo set at 0, it's all over, like you just barely breathe on the stick and it's moving. So I got it working out really well. So 10% expo really helped. I like it, and if somebody else wants to try it, go for it, because I think they'll like it. But anyways, I like the whole thing. Now I got my voltage, I've got the receiver in it, I'm using my DX6 radio, I've got the case over there for it. I spent a lot of money on it and I wasn't even utilizing it. So now I'm going to utilize this, and I'm just going to use the screen, hand it to somebody as they want to watch when I'm flying. And I also got a spare goggles up there, so I'm going to have a lot of fun. The next thing I'm going to put in it is I'm going to put a low alarm. I have a low alarm right now that plugs into the receiver, and now that I got the telemetry on it, I don't have a spot to plug that in. So it's going in my plane. Now I never did like the sensor, because if you lose your pack the alarm didn't work. So I'm going to go with a standalone one with its own battery and put the lost alarm in that. I just got to wait for it to come. That'll be my next mod. But anyways, hope this helps, and I hope people I've seen on there, people trying to find the 12 volt spot, so that should help them. Have a good day.